Caught between my best friend and the girl I loved, I overheard them laughing and making out just hours after I trusted her again. "Did you come in my mouth?" she said, then giggled. After all the lies, this betrayal shattered me. How could I have been so blind? I, a 22-year-old male, am infatuated with this girl, A, who is 23 years old. Grab your popcorn because this is going to be a long read. I first met her in 2017 when I used to attend my weekend Indian Institute of Technology classes. We conversed for quite some time, but soon drifted apart because I was interested in someone else, and I was aware of it. Recently, we began talking again in November of 2024. I had broken up with my previous girlfriend, whom I had been dating approximately 5 years ago, and I had been madly in love with her until a year ago. And I reconnected, and she had also emerged from a toxic and abusive relationship 8 months ago. Our interactions evolved from talking to meeting, hugging, kissing, and so forth. We shared many of our darkest secrets over the next 2 months. This is where things became complicated. My so-called best friend K, a 23-year-old male who I have known for 11 years, is also interested in A. I made it unequivocally clear to both him and me that she liked me. To ensure my best friend's satisfaction and to adhere to the bro code, I even asked him if he was okay with me pursuing A, to which he replied, "You are my brother, I have no problem. Go ahead with her, I will be more than happy." Hearing this, I followed my heart. Things went well for about a month, and I genuinely felt there could be a future with AK. Continued to flirt with her and give her gifts, which he informed me about, but she also asked me not to tell him anything as it would hurt him. This is where things began to spiral. I complied with her request, but I still made it clear to K that I liked A and was moving forward with her, to which he responded in the same manner. A assured me that there was nothing to worry about, even when I repeatedly expressed my concerns about K's intentions. From this point onward, a series of lies were told by K and A to my face, two individuals I believed cared the most about me. First lie: on January 19th, A messaged me abruptly, stating that things needed to end between us because she was not over her ex. Second lie: K was aware that A and I had ceased seeing each other. He contacted me the following day, January 20th, asked how I was doing, and when I mentioned it was about A, he suggested I let her go because she was not worth it. This lie will make sense later. Third lie: on January 20th, I saw A and K in a car returning from somewhere. I saw the vehicle for only a moment, so I cannot be entirely certain, but I recognized A was sitting in the passenger seat the very next day after she ended things with me. When I confronted both about it, they denied it, telling me I was mistaken. Fourth lie: K and A began texting me very frequently around the same time frame, often 1 to 2 minutes apart. This usually occurred before we came down. My instincts told me that they must have been meeting each other before calling me. When I questioned them about it, they of course lied. Fifth lie: it was January 31st. I had not slept well and I had just finished a challenging but enjoyable football match. The plan was to go to A's house later for drinks, along with K and 5 other friends. This is when the story takes a dramatic turn. Turning point: A still cared about me a lot, but I thought she was not over her ex, and I continued to pursue her despite her telling me not to. That was my mistake. I should have listened to her, but being who I am, I chased the girl I loved anyway. On the night of January 31st, which was basically February 1st, we were all drinking and having a good time. I and Kay were sitting on the balcony, and when I wanted to step outside for a smoke, Kay made an excuse and told me to go away. I understood something was amiss. After 10 minutes, A returned, crying heavily without telling me why, so I went to Kay on the balcony and pressed him until he finally relented. The first words that came out of Kay's mouth were, "I never liked you," which hit me like a punch. I went numb and kept thinking about why, believing it was due to her ex. Until Kay explained that she used to call me from the balcony, flirt with me, and ask me to do things for her. When I appeared on the balcony, I dropped my beer bottle, slammed the door, and told her to leave. She did not listen. I opened the balcony door, gathered my belongings, and left, telling her best friend to leave me alone since she was the one comforting me. I simply asked her if she knew about the situation, and she confirmed that she did. I opened the door and ran away. Another friend stopped me and tried to calm me down, repeatedly asking what had happened. I shared that I felt betrayed by two of the closest people in my life. In my anger, I punched the wall twice, injuring my knuckles. From there, Kay approached me and expressed his desire to talk, and I followed, insisting she needed to be present because it involved her, even though I told her to leave. Kay explained how everything started. Here is where the second lie becomes clearer. Kay said it all began on January 19th, after the three of us had returned from drinking. Kay dropped me home first and then continued to drop off A. It was during this time that A broke down in front of him, saying that I was messing with her mind. How exactly was I messing with her mind? Let me explain. At the beginning of my relationship with A, she often said I was not expressive or emotional enough. I have an ongoing serious family issue that only a couple of my closest friends know about, and I eventually confided in A as well. On the night of January 19th, I had a fight with her friends, and when she saw me in a bad state due to my family problems, she felt helpless. Kay later told me that it did not leave me for her ex but rather because, as he put it, I am too broken. She wanted someone to care for her rather than needing to care for someone else. Those words devastated me. My greatest vulnerability became the reason for the one I wanted to leave me. That was the last thing I heard before I punched the stairs 3 times in anger before leaving. I returned home and went straight to bed, inebriated. The next day, I met her at her place to find answers. She echoed the same sentiments Kay expressed, saying that she was at fault for leaving me and should have been stronger. I cried extensively and she cried as well. I should have ended things then, but it told me she liked me and I melted. February 2nd, my birthday. The day I turned 22 also became the day I experienced the most pain. I spoke with Kay, who had come with one of my childhood friends to celebrate with cake. He expressed regret for everything that had happened and admitted he lacked the courage to inform me that he was seeing the girl I loved, even after I had repeatedly told him I liked her. I decided to let it go, forgiving him and stating that they could do as they pleased, as it should not matter to me. This was my second mistake. Fast forward a few hours, my friends and I chose to drink at Kay's place for my birthday. One of my friends discussed a guy who dated his girlfriend and hurt her 5 years prior, prompting Kay, who was drunkenly enraged, to suggest they confront him. We calmed him down and I went downstairs to join A and other friends who wanted to cut a cake for me. I descended already intoxicated and cut the cake. Then Kay approached and asked where the guy was. I told him to leave me alone, but he began to push me. I tugged on Kay's shirt and noticed several hickeys on his neck. I blanked out and felt a shock through my body. I asked her directly if she was the one who gave Kay those hickeys, to which she replied, "No, that's not me. Why would I do that? Go ask him, it's some other girl." I accepted her answer after asking her 4 times. Later, Kay grew angrier. I urged him to stop and he responded, "Don't touch me." When I asked, "What? Will you hit me?" he replied, "Yes, I will," and I told him I would hit back. He then told me, "You do not have the guts, you are beneath me," implying I held no respect or status to even lay a finger on him. Hearing that made me walk away. My other friends calmed me down. Not wanting to ruin my birthday, I told Kay it was fine. This was my third mistake. The night continued and Kay revealed that I had given him the hickeys. After that, much of my night was a blur. The next day, I recalled everything. My body felt wretched and my heart was filled with pain. I did not speak to A or Kay for a day. The day after, I met her to inquire why she had lied. She maintained it happened before January 31st, claiming it had only occurred once. This was the 6th lie she told me. We discussed it, and she stated she still liked me but needed some time to figure things out. I then went to Kay's house to speak with him. I expressed my hurt over what had transpired between him and A, but I was more wounded by the fact that he had questioned my character and self-respect. He expressed his deep remorse. I let it go, which was my fourth mistake. Let me tell you a bit about Kay. He has been my friend since the 5th grade, witnessing my growth. Over the years, I am unsure what transpired, but he developed the habit of reading my chats with other girls while I was passed out. He would unlock my phone and read my messages. When I confronted him about it, he claimed he had a bad habit of reading chats. I instructed him to stop, and I let it go. As time passed, Kay began making sexual remarks to my ex in front of me, fully aware that I had not moved on from her. I told them to stop, but it persisted. Kay once slapped me while drunk, stating he did it because he was irritated and angry. I let that go as well. He is a toxic individual, a significant narcissist who only cares about himself. He audibly confessed to A that he is a narcissist and warned her, "I will only hurt you." I had a very toxic relationship, claiming she was attracted to the drama with Kay due to the conflicts and the emotional pain he inflicted upon her. However, she still forgave him and found herself drawn to him. I accepted this incident as well. That is when I started further damaging myself. I kept insisting she wanted to be with me, but she confided in Kay that she liked him and feared it would look bad if she backed off. Consequently, I encouraged both of them to do as they wished. It was their lives. I specifically informed A that even if she chose him over me, I just wanted her to be happy. She asserted she wanted to be with me but needed time to make her decision. She said that with Kay, she only felt fleeting moments of happiness, while she felt stability with me. I melted and continued to pursue her despite her ambiguity. She reassured me that she cared deeply about me, offering all the usual comforting words. As time progressed, A and I began to spend extensive time together. Many of A's friends despised Kay and did not want her to be with him, perhaps contributing to her attraction to him. I do not know. A informed me that she was very happy with me and it felt peaceful. This dynamic persisted. On February 20th, I visited A's house. We got high and drank a beer. Our evening transitioned from watching a movie to something more intimate. The next day, she expressed that she enjoyed herself and encouraged me to visit her again the following evening, February 21st. I am writing this on the morning of February 22nd. Kay had informed me on the 20th that he would return home early on the 21st due to work commitments. My mind began to wonder. I asked A whether she had informed him she would be alone, and she confirmed she had. I understood Kay was likely going to meet A, but she insisted there was nothing to worry about and that I was overthinking. This time I decided to genuinely trust her due to the previous night's experiences. However, today she told me I could not visit because she had to go to her aunt's place. I sensed something was off. I let my instincts take control. I returned to my apartment, then went to A's block. I found her at home. I inquired what she was doing, and she responded she had just arrived and was going to meet Kay for a discussion. I recognized the direction this was heading. Kay called her downstairs. I told her I would wait for her and would only come over if Kay was just there to talk and leave. She suggested it was pointless to wait because she was unsure how long it would take. I agreed and departed. She then informed me that Kay was coming over to her place to smoke. He had brought a cake and some beer cans. I could not control my emotions. I asked me not to text her so Kay would not see, and I stood near the door, hearing them drink and laugh. I eventually overheard them deciding to get high. She said, "Please, Kay, let's go smoke up. I will do whatever you want," to which Kay replied, "Whatever, are you sure? I think you can understand what followed." They went, smoked up, returned to the living room, and started making out. I love my life. I could hear everything through the door. I heard them kiss, heard the spanks, and heard the risque dialogues. I overheard her ask Kay, "Did you climax in my mouth?" To which Kay affirmatively replied and responded with "you." Then they laughed. They smoked a cigarette again, shared a bit about me which I couldn't quite make out, and returned to their previous activities. I arrived at A's block at 1 a.m. and left at 5:30 a.m. unable to bear it any longer. Every second, all I could think of was what they were doing. My body went numb. I felt overwhelming pain, yet strangely, I also felt no pain at all. I cursed myself for believing that girl again. I felt like I was losing my sanity. I went downstairs, smoked a cigarette, and returned home. I was unsure what to do or whom to talk to, which is why I am now on Reddit typing this lengthy account that I do not know who will read. I merely needed someone to talk to. I am losing my mind. I have developed insomnia. I have lost my appetite and I have lost my glow. All I can think about is how those two can betray me again, and it hurts so much. I really do not know what to do. She just messaged me stating she woke up to use the restroom, but in reality she texted me after Kay had departed. When she told me Kay was coming over, she assured me there was nothing to worry about, not to think about anything, and simply go to sleep. I am thankful I did not sleep. Even though I stood there listening to them, I knew I had to do it to clear my mind. I feel lost, I feel hopeless. I feel like my luck in love is abysmal, and it is all my karma for hurting people in the past. I am not writing all of this to elicit sympathy. I am merely venting to strangers I do not even know. Good night, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Story 2. My husband chose rehab over home, only to cheat on me right before Christmas with a girl he met there. "I love you more than anything," he texted me while hiding his betrayal. After uprooting our kids for him, I now question, what kind of man does this? I have edited this to express my gratitude for all the genuine, honest, and raw comments. I met him when I was 16. He is the only person I have ever been with and the only one I have ever been intimate with. He is all I have known. I got married at 18 and became a military wife. I recently graduated with my master's degree, but I do not feel capable of helping anyone at this moment because I cannot assist myself as I need to. I worry about what might happen to him if I let go and if I am not there for him. His family loves me and cares for him. I am uncertain how leaving your family in Alaska was acceptable to anyone, especially when he said he would be with the girl he met in rehabilitation instead of returning home to his family. I apologize for the lengthy narrative and for not organizing it properly. I feel scattered and emotionally exhausted. I feel as though I am stuck in a state of paralysis. This is my story, which still leaves me in shock. We lived in Alaska, and during the entire year of 2023 and part of 2024 before our baby girl was born, my husband experienced depression again. He would sleep all day and not engage in any activities. Before this, he had been in and out of rehabilitations. During my pregnancy, he looked up other women on TikTok, which hurt me, and he claimed he only did it out of curiosity after I confronted him. Eventually, he apologized. My husband would lie in bed all day with our children observing this behavior. This is not unusual, as before we moved to Alaska, he had done the same, attending a meeting once a week and going to the gym once a week. He would wake up around 5 or 6 p.m., eat, and occasionally do something with the children, such as taking them to the store. Sometimes he would experience a burst of energy from taking kratom and do laundry. Fast forward to the time in Alaska, and after I gave birth, the situation was tough. He played poker and those addictions consumed our finances, which upset me deeply. During this time, he was glued to his phone, playing poker, leading to a fight while I was lying in bed with our newborn. He insulted me, calling me a stupid bee, and stated that he hated me and found me disgusting. After that, I confronted him, saying he should never address me that way again, and I was upset. He told me to leave him alone, claiming he could not escape. Apparently, he made me believe that he could express mean things to me, but when he said, "Leave me alone," it implied I was not permitted to defend myself, leading to situations that could escalate dangerously because I felt the need to keep fighting. I felt stuck, upset, and crying, all while being convinced that I was the one at fault. After that, he instructed me not to show my face upstairs. Mind you, I was 2 weeks postpartum while he slept upstairs. Fast forward to 6 weeks postpartum. I mentioned we could try to be intimate, but it hurt too much, so I stopped. We remained disconnected. I felt increasingly depressed and struggled. I continuously expressed that I did not feel right, and he became angrier that I did not want to be touched. He mocked me, saying my estrogen levels were low when I tried to articulate why I felt off. He left to drink and threatened to take his own life, blaming me because I would not leave him alone, even though I stayed in the downstairs bedroom. The times he would become extremely angry were when I attempted to express my feelings postpartum and that I was struggling and felt unheard and misunderstood by him. He would get angry and state that most men engage in sexual relations within 3 months, and he would not endure a loveless, sexless marriage. He treated me poorly, which made me feel even more depressed. Ultimately, he left for treatment out of state, which I had encouraged. He was still upset with me and refused to listen to how I felt. He would interrupt me, get angry, and hang up. He removed me as his main contact for the rehabilitation center. Eventually, he reached out and requested to stay connected. We reconnected for a while, but a month later, he became distant again. At that time, I was unaware that a girl had entered the rehabilitation center in October of 2024. Anyhow, he ended up distancing himself further, calling only once every other week. I feared the worst. During this period, I was taking care of our household, which included moving to a new house by myself while managing the activities of 5 children, including homeschooling. My oldest son had a drone class 4 days a week. My other child had wrestling 2 days a week. Another son had reading and therapy, and I was also caring for a 5-month-old baby. Eventually, he texted me that he was afraid to come home and did not want to return to the dark place he had been in for the entire previous year, stating that he valued his life more and wanted to live. I called him, and he informed me that he wanted a separation. I was on the side of the road experiencing a panic attack when a random woman stopped to assist me. Regardless, his depression was his burden, just as my postpartum struggles were mine and my responsibility. However, the support you have around you is crucial. During his entire depression while I was pregnant, I was doing DoorDash and Instacart to support his marijuana habit, ensuring we had food for our children, as he is a disabled veteran receiving money in that manner. He often reminds me that most women would be grateful to stay home, but I have consistently supported him throughout numerous treatments, including taking him to Texas for treatment and several in Michigan for his drug and alcohol issues. Essentially, I have always been there for him. I even provided him with a journal to help track his appointments, yet he still failed to attend them. I have done my utmost to be supportive and to ask how I could assist him. However, he decided not to return to our house in Alaska, which he had initially agreed to, and completely blindsided me. In light of my emotions, I resolved to pack everything up. He instructed me to sell his car, sell his gun. He did not care. I complied and left to stay with my sister-in-law. He met us there 7 days after he left rehabilitation. He got drunk and texted me that he wanted me, the love of his life, and that he loved me more than anything. I welcomed him back, unaware that he had just come from the girl he had left me for. I only discovered this after seeing a text on his phone from her saying, "I thought you forgot about me." The messages were sexual and inappropriate, so I confronted him, resulting in him leaving and getting drunk, subsequently texting, "I love you" to her. The next day, I contacted her with proof of his relationship with me and the things he had said to me, his wife, and she was also blindsided as he had lied to her. He left rehabilitation, flew to her, and was with her for a week before supposedly coming to his senses. Yet he continued the affair, becoming increasingly depressed, using drugs again, and requiring me to take him to the hospital. I learned about this while preparing dinner for him and taking care of our sick children at the time. He eventually told me that I made the choice for him after I contacted her, blaming and gaslighting me. This is what I have dealt with for years while I was in tears and feeling hurt. Meanwhile, he continued to message her, claiming he hadn't slept with me and so on. She informed me that she would cease communication with him, and she did, but he attempted to contact her again, even after moving to a place he preferred. He saved her contact under the name Timmy and insisted he was merely trying to apologize. He stated that I told him to be with her anyway. He then broke his phone. Since then, there has been no contact, and he has expressed deep remorse and has been trying to make amends. However, I cannot seem to move past this. Initially, I attempted very hard to be better than her, questioning what she possessed that I did not. Now I simply feel frustrated. I uprooted my children from a place they cherished when my husband said he was not coming home. The following day, he initiated a relationship with this girl and planned to go to her after rehabilitation instead of returning home to his children and wife right before Christmas. What kind of man does that to his wife and kids? Now we are residing in a place that is his favorite, where his reservation is, while my parents are going to help cover his credit card bill to assist in purchasing a house. However, the place I loved was Alaska, and that was home, but he could not live there. I uprooted everything yet again in a fight or flight response, not thinking about my kids. How could I have been so foolish? I wish I had known about her before leaving, because maybe, just maybe, that knowledge would have impacted my decision, and perhaps I would not have left. Now we find ourselves in a broken apartment on his reservation. It's in a beautiful area, but it does not feel like home to me. I am feeling shattered and realizing that I am stuck. And as a stay-at-home mother, I cannot pursue any other options except remaining here.